Okay, how's everybody doing this evening? Just give me a little bit of a panoramic view of the Oceanside Pier in Oceanside, California, because that's where I'm at. So anyway, I'm glad I make these nightly videos because there's getting to be quite a bit of good information on EOS every day. It's starting to heat up. Things are starting to happen. And of course, Dan Larimer has been talking some trash. And Dan's a pretty good trash talker, so he's actually said some things that are pretty interesting. And I want to talk about him tonight in this video. Of course, my name is Kent. The channel is EOS San Diego, but I just call it EOS Nightly because I talk nightly about the EOS blockchain. So anyway, and I'll put the post. I didn't read every one of the telegrams or telegraphs where somebody was asking Dan a question and then responded to the question, but I'm just going to hit the high points because I didn't read every one of them. I read through it once, but I didn't really look at it that closely, but I pretty much read the articles about it, or whoever had, they're actually commentating on what Dan said. So anyway, basically what Dan is saying is that he feels like he could take down Bitcoin and Ethereum because he thinks he sees them as very centralized, more centralized actually than EOS, which everybody says EOS is centralized because of the 21 block producers. Dan is basically saying because of mining pools that it would be easy, it wouldn't take as much resources as a lot of people think to actually bring him down or attack him or whatever he said that he would do. But then again, he said he would never do it because it wouldn't be ethical and even illegal. So he's more or less just making this, and I would say kind of a game theory thing about Ethereum and Bitcoin, game theory about how you would actually attack him. So Dan's talking about, and of course, EOS takes a lot of heat about being centralized all the time. So Dan's actually firing back with, no, we're not. You guys are more centralized than we are. And actually, it wouldn't take that many resources to reverse transactions or to completely stop transactions on Ethereum and Bitcoin. So anyway, a lot of trash talking. The other thing Dan said, which is interesting to me, was that everybody in DC, when he said DC, I'm assuming he's thinking Washington, DC, which is the nation's capital, wants to work with EOS. So EOS is in high demand from people in the government that want to work with them. And he even mentioned like the Trump administration. If whoever wrote this is taking what he said literally, or saying what he said actually, I'm assuming it is because I think it was one of the big publications. So Dan is actually saying, hey, people in Washington, DC want to work with us. Everybody wants to work with us. And while he's saying that, he's also saying that, and I said this last night, just out of the clear blue sky, maybe Vitalik may start working with EOS. It would be a good fit. And obviously Vitalik with Ethereum is struggling with scalability, transactions per second. Even if Vitalik said, you know, hey, we're doing 15 transactions per second, we need to do 100,000. I mean, at one time, like I like what Dan says about that, he says, you don't need a fork, you need a pitchfork, which pitchforks means you just need to throw it away, give it up, because you're never going to make it. And of course, Vitalik has been trying to solve the unsolvable problem, which is how in the world do you make Ethereum, which is mining proof of work, into a protocol that can do 100,000 transactions per second. So what Dan is saying, hey, give it up and come work with us in EOS. We'd make a great team, and that everybody wants to work with us anyway, so why not come work with us? We're the team that's happening. We're the things that are going on. So really interesting stuff by Dan. Dan is putting it on the line, and I think one of the reasons Dan's putting it on the line is because he's feeling pretty good about the news coming out in the future. He's feeling pretty good about the way where EOS is at right now. So if you're looking at EOS right now, and I think it had a fairly flat day, but it's been going up, obviously. Things have been happening. It's time to get involved. And you know what? I've been talking about this for a year now. I've been talking about EOS and everything happening. Now it's starting to happen, just like I said it was going to happen. Just like I've been talking it's going to happen. And just like I staked everything I had on the EOS blockchain and doing these nightly videos and doing airdrop and being block producers and following EOS on a daily basis and making a video about it. So I understand what's going on, and I believe in what's going on, and I think that that Dan is starting to convey those feelings of being very confident. And that's why he's saying the things he's saying, because he's very, very confident. And that would make me excited about where EOS is at and where EOS is going. because if Dan's excited, I think a lot of other people are going to be excited. Because when Dan speaks, people listen. I mean, Dan obviously is somebody that is a blockchain pioneer, and he knows as much about the blockchain as anybody in the world. And when Dan tells you things or says things, you know that it has a lot of weight or a lot of validity behind it, because Dan has obviously been very successful in blockchain, created some very successful projects, and continues to be one of the great minds in the blockchain world, not only in blockchain, but in just technology in general. So anyway, pretty good day today, very interesting. I'll put the links below. I'll give you a shot of the view of the ocean here before I leave. So there you go. Appreciate you watching. Thank you very much.